Okay, are we good? On we go. Okay. Just waiting for the chat to respond. Okay, we are good, we are good, we are go. Alright. Feels to me like it might be a little bit quiet now. Not entirely sure. Oh, hello Dan. Welcome to the stream. Well, yep, seems like the text chat's working just fine, so okay, time to throw out YouTube notices. You're in the Rexarius build. Yes. Build. Okay, so yeah, just need a few moments to sort that out, and then I can get started. So Control C, paste it. Let's see, throw it into Dama's. Damadoc, I need to find his. Where is it? Shameless self-promotion. There's the channel I want. Okay, throw that in there. And I'll throw one out on Entropy as well for content releases. And done. Right, we are live. We have something. Okay. Right. If you missed the earlier OBS stream, then sorry, the earlier stream on Neo Scavenger, I lost track of the name there. Yeah, that was just testing the thing to make sure OBS was working. So yeah, since it seems to be working, we are now continuing what I started in a stream during last week, which is working on the Rexarius, my first true dreadnought kind of class, which I want to finish, since I don't have a ship of that size yet. Let's see, Dan, hi, Ion, wondering if you could talk through AI control for submarines since the AI updates. I find it tough to get working. Also, spin block controlled rudders controlled with AI. Yes, hello, Little Mean, and also hello to you, Raz, as well. Dan, sure, I don't mind quickly talking through getting a submarine setup running. Also, spin block controlled rudders controlled with the AI. Yeah, that should be doable as well. Shouldn't take too long, which means it's going to take the first half hour of the video. But hey, details. Let's just get started with something then really quick to try and answer that one. How do I like OBS compared to what I was using before? Well, OBS isn't charging me anything, which is very welcome. I'll tell you that one straight away. Oops. That's what I wanted. Okay, basic submarine frame. What's with the turret bases? That's something I found while looking for a way to work on my turret bases without taking absolutely ages to work it out. It's actually spin block bases, and it comes from someone. Just search in the workshop for spin block bases. So yeah. Also, I think I'm getting some lag from some of the stuff that's in here. So I'm going to unspawn the things I don't need right now.
Listening.
At the very least, while I do this. So there we go. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's stuff just to help me working on the turrets. What I'm doing right now is a basic layout for your question, Dan, which was submarine, or how to get one functioning at the very least. You also said spin block based turning rudder, so I guess I'll do that one as well. But this is roughly a layout for where we want some propellers to be. I don't use ballast for this. Well, I don't use ballast. I don't use air blocks for it. Let's see. Let's do. I guess those two as well. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, right. This should be enough for getting the thing operational. In fact, we don't even need this much. We could go with like one in each corner and then a pair in the middle, so we could actually halve this if we want to. But this is roughly what I tend to consider the minimum for a submarine. So the other tools we need for a submarine are, make sure memo's off, a set of PIDs, a power source to run the propellers, in this case just a simple RTG base, because that's all we need for testing purposes, and of course an electric engine for that. There we go. And now we just need to get this thing set up. So if we want this thing to be idly moving around, we'll also need an AI, which I'll tack onto the side there, and tell it you're a naval craft and you maneuver by ship or tank mode, which is all it needs. So this is how I put together submarines, rather. Raz, you're going to lurk for a lot of the stream. Move it off screen and keep watching Stargate SG-1 on the main one, while working on D&D characters in the middle one. Yeah, Raz, I know, you've got many, many, many screens. That's fair enough, that. Oh dear. Alright, Bapple, Pizza and an Ion stream. Well, welcome to the stream, I hope you enjoy your time here. Propulsion, roll, propulsion. Yes, indeed. And Lauren. Yes, glad you caught up. Welcome to the stream. Just 3 screens, that's 2 screens, too few. Hey, I'm still on 1 screen here. Well, 2 if you count the laptop. What was I doing? Oh yeah, roll. Pitch. So, what I'm doing here, Dan, is I am just setting up automated PIDs to control roll and pitch, since that's how I prefer to operate with those. I don't really touch the AI for those. And this last one is going to be altitude. So yeah, just altitude above mean sea level, let's do that. And then propulsion vertical. So each of these PIDs, as you saw, I set up for propulsion. So one will respond to the roll of the craft, one will respond to the pitch, one will respond to the altitude. I just need to check back very quickly and see if I'm forgetting anything. I've not forgotten the spin block for rudder. Air control submarine's working. Okay. Actually, that's a question. Did you want me going over just the basic setup that I'm doing here to get the thing in the water in the first place? That's a question, I think. Anyway, just a couple of forward props as well. So that'll let it move at least. Oh, you love the streams? Thank you, Baffle. Okay, let's continue then. These ones on the left and right, these guys are for roller presets, so they respond to the roll PID. And I'm going to, of course, spread to neighbor as well. I just have them facing opposite ways because I find that rolling and pitching works more effectively if you have opposing forces as well. Otherwise, it's just trying to push upwards or push downwards and roll it, since it only goes in one direction rather than on either side of it. So it helps balance the force out, shall we say, and makes it more reliable. This is great. You didn't realise that propulsion vertical existed. Yeah, it's you could do a powerless version, which is buoyancy and air and stuff like that. But I tend to go with just the powered ones. That's what I like to do with it. Now these rear ones have defaulted to picture, which is great because that means they just like control the pitch of the craft. However, for actual depth, we want pusher, which is the pusher preset, because in this bit here it responds to upwards and downwards control. So that will respond to actual controls for moving the craft to a higher or lower altitude. And then these guys will try to work on correcting the pitch of the craft to counter whatever those guys are doing at the front. So that's where I tend to set it up. Let's basically collect the old, no longer needed screens from friends and their workplaces. Now you've got enough for the time being. We've only had more space. Oh. You're trying to use hydrofoils and AI to dive. Yeah, that would work as well. The hydrofoils are like, it slows the craft down, but it doesn't cost you power to use them. So there's another trade-off involved there. And I'm not that good with hydrofoils. I just prefer to apply active power to things and force it through. And I can set it to respond to both up, down, and pitch. Yes, that is true. I just don't like it when there's conflicting things. Like I prefer to have the propellers working on a single thing. So I can have that pitch down and then. So yeah. To go with what Raz just said, there we go. I've pitched down and pushed down, so it's both of those. But then I believe I have to go into the other, every individual one, and adjust them to copy. So like that. No, that's rotational. Wait, what? No, that is pitch. There we go. Okay, fixed. So that's that. I'm going to leave it gentle with the roll and pitch, but the altitude, I need to set a fake point on it, and I'll tell it to go to -10. So this thing will try to sink itself to 10 meters down. If we release it, it should do that, and it will correct itself for roll and pitch and stuff as well. As soon as it flips over. Right. It's trying to drag itself down, basically. That's what's going on. Okay. It's not balanced. As soon as the prop gets into the water, it just goes bye-bye. Let's just kill the power for a few moments to get it into the water. It's a demonstration craft. It's not meant to be perfect, okay? Okay, is everything submerged? It is. Good. And it... Wait. Did I not set you guys to... You guys are rollers, yes. You guys are rollers, yes. Hey, look, guys, I know how to do this. Basically, if you actually had a proper ship, this would work. The problem is that my craft is too light. Would an ACB set to react to an enemy, say between 0 and 3,000 meters, dive to 50 meters to override the PID? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Also going to move the AI downwards slightly. In fact, I actually built a submarine very recently. I'm just wondering why this thing is trying to roll. Yeah, it's trying to roll. That's why it's. I don't even know why it's trying to roll. Really, I think that it's just because it's so light. It's on balance. Let's just put some lead in the bottom of it to get it sinking a bit faster. But yeah, you can have an ACB override the fake point of general purpose PIDs within reach. It won't work for... Actually, I think I need more... I think I need more back here, don't I? Yeah. It won't work for AI attached PIDs. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, let's double it up on the back. Picture, yeah, okay. Just to make sure we've got enough power on the pitch to override the thrust at the front. Let's try that. Don't worry, this does work. I'm just not doing a very good job of showing it. Oh wait, is it because I went gentle with it? Might be. Yeah, let's just accelerate the responses times a bit. It's not happy about something. Right. I'm a professional at this. Pretty sure some of the props are set up wrong. Yeah, I think it might be because I confused the ones at the front. I'm going to set them to pusher only. That's helping. Okay. Roller, yeah. Roller. Oh, I get it. Some of them have gone negative. I forgot that it does that sometimes. There we go. Fixed. Working. Hello, Mr. Analog. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, okay. I forgot that with the rollers, when it's neighbouring, half the time they go backwards. So I forgot to double check for that. It's strange, really. I think it's because the propeller is facing the other direction, and so it thinks, you know what? It's got to be in reverse, but it doesn't. So, yeah. But as you can see, it's now very happily maintaining its position, though it is rocking around quite a bit. We don't need as much power on it because it's too light. Let's drop that down. 0.5 on the pitch one. And let's drop it down on the roll as well. So half the response power on it. Just a bit. There we go. It's just maintaining position like that. Okay. The AMS roulette. Pretty much, yeah. But anyway, that thing is now just quite happily sitting there. Though, of course, because we moved the AI, it doesn't have an AI control routine in it anymore. So let's go ahead and switch that back on to enable with ship or tank. That gives it access to forward and reverse. It's going to crash into something. Why is it so low? You are meant to be a pusher, good sir. Why are you not doing your job? Pusher vertical, altitude above mean sea level. We want to be at -10. Okay, it seems to be doing something which I'm not too happy with. In fact, you know what? Let's take that out. Oh, there we go. It's correcting. It's controlling itself a bit better now. Right. The wonders are from the depths, quite honestly. Okay, so that's a forward propulsion one. That's fine. If I set them on the side here, they become turners. You are meant to be a main drive. You are? Yes, okay. I'm doing great at demonstrating this, aren't I? Yeah, anyway, we've got our rotating nil block thing. It's it's not moving around at all. It's coming up to the surface pretty hard. But then it's trying to correct itself when it's hovering just 10 meters down. That's what it's meant to be doing. That's great. Okay, it's floating where it's meant to be, just below the surface. So let's move on to the other thing which I was asked, which was how to use a spin block for turning. Let's go ahead. I want to get the Daddy Blades, because why not? There it is, yeah. And I can just cheat a little bit and install them sideways, like this. There we go, that's like that. And I also want 2 ACBs, of course, for it. Well, 3 technically. Let's go with 3. A spin block with custom rudders. Same principle, actually, Dan. You can use a spin block in the same way, because the entire it all depends on rotational speed of the spin block itself. It's just in this case I'm using a Daddy Blade because I can attach it straight into the back of it like that. This will work with any kind of spin block as well. What you need is control. So vehicle control, your command. And if the command is to turn right, then you are to set spin blocks within your reach, which by the way applies to Daddy Blades as well, but spin blocks is the one you want. You will set your rotation speed. Let's set it to 10. Not enough because it's an unpowered one, but it is turning. Let's set it to full power. Okay, something weird's going on with these guys. Let's take out the turners. And also let's give this thing some power as well, because sure. Oh, yep, it's turning. There we go. It was just way too small, that's all it was. Yours will work better because you'll have something bigger. Okay. This is your command turning right, it's clearly turning left, so let's set it to left instead. And this one, your command, if you're told to turn to the right, we now know, with the way that's facing, we want the spin block to go to -30. So that thing, so now it's locked in place, so it's now spinning back and forth really quickly to keep it in place. And then finally this last one is going to be every 0.1 seconds spin blocks 0 to stop the rotation. But I'm going to turn down the priority. So if there is actually an active command from one of the other ACBs, it'll override that one which is telling the spin block to stop. But yeah, that should be all we need for it. It's now holding in place, it's rolling, it's controlling its roll, it's controlling its pitch, and active turning is from that. Oh, there you go, it just waggled its tail at us because it thought it needed to turn. Let's give it a command, shall we? Vehicle. I want you into
control yours.
Sorry, fleet
form up
road.
and fly wing
move over there, please.
Moving out.
And then move around a bit. Just for show. There we go, it's trying. I think the problem is that it's, yeah, it's just basically very weak and it's not very aerodynamic, but as you can see, it's now just wandering off by itself. It's set to yaw to a certain angle? No, Lauren, it's actually under control of its AI block right now. It's just in response to the yaw command, it will respond immediately. Hello, Awelna. Do you even need the ACBs? But Daddy's now had a fancy control interface that made them controllable by PID too. Oh, well, I've not really looked at. Oops, it's turning itself quite happily. Yep. Let's take a quick look then, just for completeness, before I get on with what I was doing. Advanced controller. So it can respond to directly to that. Spin controls, no. Spin data, no. Actually, I'm not seeing anything in here, well, that is like what you were talking about. But yeah, there you go. It's turned itself back towards where we were. It was still wriggling, Lauren, because it was in idle mode, so it was trying to position itself close to me to get into its idle distance. It's just that I'm sitting on a seat up above the water here, so it couldn't get close enough, so it just parked underneath me. So that's what it was doing there. Oh, there we go. Now that it's reached the place, it's turning quite happily right there. And there it goes. Okay. Spin mate control. Hello, Shaolin. Welcome to the stream. Sorry for being a bit slow to respond to you. This is just something that Dan Tucker asked me to do a quick demonstration on. But yeah, this is actually going to be continuing my build last time, which is the Rexarius. So this is just like a quick demonstration on setting up a submarine, or one way you can set up a submarine. Advanced settings. Oh, hey! Yeah, you can. Well, actually, non-reversible. It's like you can configure this one like a normal propeller, but it doesn't work both ways. So that's what this is looking like. It's the same thing as the propellers have got, but they can only be functioning one way or the other. So the ACB routes I've just done there actually allows it to go forward or backwards, I think. So yeah. At least that's what I'm seeing here, looking at it. So yeah, I'm not really seeing anything for responding to translational movements. Yeah, it's not active unless I actually give it a response to a command. Oh, it's behind the sea. Well, the minimum is 0. 0.5. Suddenly, yeah, that's overridden the ACB controls. And it's now doing nothing. Oh, no, never mind. Yep, a well nut, you got it. I stand corrected. Okay, so the ACB setup is not actually needed. You can tell it to fully respond to the yaw because it is responding in the negative as well. Awesome. That is very good to know, actually. So these things are not needed. Okay, cool. Good to know, good to know. But yeah, a quick look at a submarine, I suppose, and then I will get back to what I was doing. Where's my Barracuda? This is the one that I put together to show to, well, to send to Lauren to have a look at as a kind of example of a craft kind of thing. But yeah, it's a thing. Fully functional submarine, but it does what was mentioned earlier. It has ACVs in it which make it dive if there's something hostile in the area. So yeah, it's just sitting there quite happily. Then if I get a target in here, then it starts to dive itself, and it's going underwater now. The thing is, a Marauder, it deals a lot of damage to really quickly, so it's like, yeah. Oh. Is the Marauder dead already, or... well, it's going to be very soon if it's not already. Oh wait, here comes another missile sniper. The only problem with this craft is it can be a little slow sometimes to refire, because it has a lot of missiles and not that much ammo. Fluid dynamics... not actually, it doesn't actually simulate fluid dynamics, no. Lauren, by fluid dynamics, what analog means is like the motion of liquids. It's more like it does drag calculation and stuff like that based on ship design. That's more what it does. But yeah, okay. I think this craft is just very short on ammunition. Yeah, it's out of ammo. It's not actually got materials because I'm not sitting in there, so it started at a disadvantage. Just get in there and it should work. There we go. That's the main drawback of that craft, it's just like, yeah. So aerodynamics put in water. It's the same principle actually, it's just that water is a denser medium than air. So that's the difference there. It's deploying its buoys to help it track it. That's what it's spending its ammo on. Okay. Destroy enemy vehicles, and the Barracuda will come back up to the surface. But it's not really meant to work by itself anyway. So lack of ammunition is actually alright. Oh, I also had control of its weapons, so that's why it wasn't attacking. So, go me. Okay. Hello again, Madman. Welcome back to the stream. Well, welcome to this stream, rather. But yeah. Okay, right. Well, hopefully that's answered what Dan was asking about before. So we can go on to the Rexarius. How far in are we now? That's one drawback of OBS. I don't know how long the stream's been going on for. Oh, 35 minutes. You know, when I said it would be a quick demonstration, so it would take half an hour, I was kidding. I was seriously kidding.
Listening. Moving out.
Yeah, I was seriously
Moving
kidding.
out.
I'll leave that little test one floating around.
Listening.
Kill the Barracuda. Yes. Off it goes. That just leaves getting back to what we were doing. Okay. It has helped you? Excellent. OBS does have a streaming for X time thingy somewhere. What I'm hoping is that it has chat on the screen as you play. I suspect it does have that somewhere as well. Because that's one of the things I miss from XSplit, because since I'm on a single monitor I could have chat on my screen as I do stuff. Okay, so I've got that. I'll bring in the spin block templates as well, just so we can see what we're doing. Now then, this particular turret, which you saw at the end of last time, is a width of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which makes it a width 11. Let's see. Which one's 11? Submarines are so much fun. I made a cruise missile sub similar to an Oscar class. Made things explode a lot. Yeah, you can do a lot with a submarine. They do have their own design limitations on them, but they can be quite useful. This one. Yeah, it is this one, isn't it? Yeah. That's the one. Oh, there's a spin block under here. Of course. There we go. Okay, so that's that. That's the one I want. While I teleport up to the actual Rexarius itself. And we can actually get this turret system finished and squared away. So. Sorry, I missed something Lauren said. Wanted to ask how much accuracy you want these simulations to have. The simple answer is no particles are being calculated against craft or anything else. That's as simple as it goes. Yeah, but the more you simulate, the more things it's got to do, and the more demand it has on your system. Wait, is that the one I wanted? Don't mind me, I'm just already nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I wanted the next size up. Whoops. Okay, I didn't want that one. I wanted, I think it's going to be this one for a 6. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this one. Because if I want to put armor around the outside of the thing, I need this, so yeah. 5, 2. So it's 5 and 2 on the outside edge. So that means I need it to be 5, then it... Oh, this is perfect, actually. And then that will come across to here. Yeah. And that's the size of the turret's own internal armoring. Nice. I accidentally built it perfectly for that. Oh, okay. I see space to add in a couple of extra shells, so I'm going to do that. Because who doesn't need more ammunition? Okay, yep, assign that to the spares, so that's good. We have some extra space dotted around. What am I going to do with this extra space? That's like that's size 3, which is not exactly a convenient number. Oh, that's something we could do, sir. We could install more rail components, make it more efficient. I like that idea. I don't care about recoil so much, so that's also okay. There's nothing in there, but there's nothing to be done about that. Let's install... That's okay. I need to leave that one blank because it comes off this one here. And then there's the central pillar, which connects up to the top of it. And that should be all we need, honestly. Pretty sure there's an app for it. Yeah, there would be an app. The problem is, of course, since I'm brand new with OBS, I don't know where to go for these things a lot. Don't mind me while I install extra armor plating before I copy this thing around. It should fit perfectly. Oh, except for the fact I've got 2 metal blocks there, which actually means I don't need the 2 metal blocks here. Okay. Mr. Analog, don't railguns produce 0 recoil? Yeah, what a Wellner's saying there. It's physics. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, is I think how it goes. But yeah, railguns produce recoil proportional to the force they're exerting. So yeah, a very powerful railgun is going to cause a lot of recoil. And just because I like to be pretty, I round out the top a little bit. I don't need to do this at all, and no one will ever really see it, to be quite honest, but hey. I know that everything is nice and rounded inside here. There we go. Okay. So that's that. Lauren, it's both. It's not, well, the velocity is what you get based on the mass of what you send out, combined with the, yeah, it's the force and the mass combined which gives the final velocity. So, yeah. Is this turning into a physics thing now? I'm a bit confused. 13. Let's get this lined up with the middle. And we need one more height on it as well to capture the top. That should be good. Yeah, that looks like it'd be perfect, so... There you go. Apologies for the loud ticking here. Also, I get the feeling the music is a little bit quiet. Is that a problem for anyone else, or is it just me being me, basically? Okay, yeah, that's all good. Now I just need to connect the actual thing itself on the other 3 cannons. You're all connected? Yep, you're all connected. You're all connected, and you're all connected. Okay, good. And that just leaves doing all these. How far down do these go? Yep, just need to get through the wood. There we go. There we go. We have ourselves a turret base. All it needs now is the cap. Goes all the way up there. Let's get... Oh, that's in the base plate, isn't it? Let's put that as a... Let's leave that be for the moment. Yeah, there we go. We have a thing. Excellent. It's called momentum. Yeah, there's all these different physics things. It's been ages since I've done any kind of math. Well, not math, physics, science stuff. Yes. Wellner wants to see if the shells may or may not have spent the last weekend min-maxing the best possible APHE shells. Okay, sure. Shells. Here we go, shells. So these are the shells currently intended. But But the one in this particular weapon system is this big one. Right here. So composite, solid. I need to get the stats up. So composite head for better velocity. Solid to give it some extra kinetic punch to it. Shape charge, secondary, but to deliver the actual heat. Well, this will work as a HE version as well, won't it? It's just that this is a heat version. Yeah, the shell isn't great because it's missing a part. Two-stage propellant? Not really. Hang on. He's going in a good way. Save the turret before you blow it up by accident. I need to finish configuring. It's not quite finished yet. At least the base mechanics aren't. And then we've got a split propulsion between the railgun casing and gunpowder casings with a bleed base behind it. Pen depth and inertial fuses. Treble HE shaped charge. Kinetic and solid. The stats look really bad because it doesn't take into account the 25k rail charge. So yeah, there we go. And yes, Raz, you remember correctly, it was 25. So yeah, this shell is meant to be used in those railguns that we were just tweaking. So yeah, 25,000 per shell. We need to adjust the rail settings a little bit though, but they were operating at like 13,000 per shot. I think it was this one that I was messing around with when I was setting it up, wasn't I? Looks like it's not quite configured properly. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this one. Right. Railgun settings. Yeah, 0.5 for efficiency. 30,000. But we can reduce the power use, or we can increase its efficiency. AP cap has better damage. It has better damage, but it's the speed for it, since it's meant to try and get past enemy interception systems. Anyway, I need to drop the stats a little bit. If we drop it down a little bit further. Still at 13k because it's at half efficiency. But its charge rate is now at 3.45, which I am quite happy with. Just checking all the stats over. Yep, that's all okay. Okay, that's fine. Copy. For some reason my mouse is not moving very quickly. Right. There we go. 26k per shot. Actually, that's slightly below what I was expecting, but that'll be okay. It's in the right ballpark. That's fine. Right. You were wanting to see how an AP cap does. Yeah, the main damage of that shell is just simply the heat punching through armor. But if we take a composite head... Why is my mouse not responding really quickly? Oh, I think I see why. Something was in the way of the cable. Right. Nose. I want the AP cap head, which is what you were talking about. 15 and 46. 12 and 56. So that's 10,000 extra kinetic. But lower armor penetration versus a composite head. Move the fuses in front of the heat. It gives better speed. Yeah, that's probably true, though. Don't they? That effect reduces the further back into the shell it is, doesn't it? Let's save this really quick before I monkey around with it too much. So let's save that. Got that. Now, inertial fuse, angle toll, 10 meters or 0.03. And let's move those to the front then. So you're saying better speed if I put them forward. So 708. HE, HE, pen depth, and inertial. So 703 becomes 712. So yeah, that's an extra 9 meters per second. Every little helps, that's fine. I'll keep that. Alright, and also noted, put fuses towards the front. Okay, I wasn't aware of that one either. Sure. Okay. Sorry, my nose is clogging up a bit. One other thing I want to do is... Do I still have... No, I don't. Okay, right. I actually want to tear out the batteries I installed last time, because I want to turn them vertical, rather than... yeah. I want the vertical because they'll fit better with the overall craft design. Is that correct? That is correct. Grab those. Okay. Okay. Let's move on then. Since we now have that, that means we know we can strip out the batteries that I've got in, at least for now. Though we know we need 6 of them. And I'll just install them off the side somewhere, just so that we've got them attached for testing purposes. Also, what? I must have hit R at some point. No, I don't. What is that? Oh, it's... Wait, no. Oh, drag. Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Okay, so... There we go. Just arrange them vertically instead. Doesn't look anything like as bad now. That's fine. Okay. Let's see. ACP has armor cap has more drag. Doesn't keep flying as long until drag takes over. Okay. But yeah. Let's keep going. We now need to get the turret to have an actual finished cap on it, seeing as we've got the rail settings all sorted out. So let's actually start doing something about that one. beam 3 just along the sides. I know this is going to be a slightly, probably going to be a bit more of a boring part of it, again. But don't worry, we're going to keep on going, and we're going to get stuff maybe done someday. I love how optimistic I am sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so the front of it is just going to be like that in front of the actual railguns. That's all I wanted. Nice and circular. We are going to bring it up among the barrels though, which is part of why I'm tunneling around a bit. Just reinforcing what I can with what's metals available. There we go. Three. Now let's make that. Yeah, actually, yeah, let's leave that at 3. 1 on either side. And that's fine. This turret's not going to be weight balanced though. Honestly, that's going to be a bit tricky to try and pull off with it because it's a big one. So we're going to have to accept the craft just rolling a little bit, I think. At least with this. But what we do want though is to get at least a little bit of armor would be good. Let's try it like this. Admittedly, like 1 to 2 meter plate isn't going to do much. Not going to do much at all, that. But hey, better than nothing. Let's see. But at the very least, it can try to intercept nasty things that are coming towards the actual thing. Forgive me if I'm a little bit paranoid, I just feel like the chat seems to have ground to a halt. Either that, or I'm used to it crashing a little bit. But that's only with when it's using the XSplit interface. I've never known it to stall out when I've got it up on the YouTube side of it. Ah well. It's just some random crazy guy on the internet building a railgun. So, yeah. Okay, let's keep on going. Though, just to be sure, I will refresh slightly. Just to make sure. Because I am still very paranoid. That turret is bigger than many of your ship designs. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me that much, Dan. Not because I know what your ship designs are like, because it's bigger than most of my ship designs as well. But it's like it's meant to be like a big heavy-duty turret. So it's something or other. But it's like it's a dreadnought scale weapon, or at least that's what I think its ship class is roughly. I'm not entirely sure. It's something, but it's something very dangerous, but it's also something very costly. Oh yeah, I installed that for. Yeah, just take those off. Don't need them. Actually, I could use those. A little bit of extra ammo input never hurt anyone, except the guy you're shooting at. Yeah, let's keep that. Right. Let's make sure they're all signed up as well to the thing. Yep, there we go. All set. And just continue to make this thing rounder and rounder. I think the only thing left really is to work in shields and maybe a little bit of supplemental detection for this turret type, but yeah, I think we've got a turret. How much does it cost, though? I think that's the big question. Save us that. Okay, so one of these things is 41, just shy of 41,500 resources. Really? That's cheaper than I thought it was. I think my expectation of prices is a bit off. Yeah, 41,350 resources for one of these turrets. Alright. Okay, let's install one of these then. Actually, we already know what's going to happen. The question about cost is as fat as the cost. What? I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, if you're quoting something there, Lauren, I do not know what you're on about. There is still something we need to do though, which is the outer turret ring. So we need this ring here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a capture. We want the wipe. No, actually we don't want that. We want a height 1, length 13 by 13. No, we want 15 by 15 actually, rather. The actual turret internal mechanism is 15 by 15. And that should be... Yep, there we go. That's the ring I want. Now, where do I want the shells to sit in relation to the thing? More expensive than most of your ships? Again, similar situation, Dan. Most of my completed ships are like up to about 30k or so. So that turret by itself is a bit of an investment. But that's fine, yeah. Oh well. Such is the price of working on this scale. Things get really, really expensive. Okay, let's put us down a prefab, which tells us that the front of it's going to be like here. If we have 1 meter separation, let's make it 3 meter in case something detonates, which puts it here. No quotes, especially if not from native language writers. Just saying the cost is big, the turret itself is not small as well. So you called it Fat Keck. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Okay, let's continue with HA. For better exterior reinforcement of the thing. Of the dreaded thingy that I'm working on. because of course this is a big brawler kind of ship. It's meant to be going up against craft of similar size and scope, so it's gonna be doing some nasty things to a bunch of people. Let's put it that way. That'll do. Let's go ahead and load in one of those turrets, at least for now. Make sure it's all working okay. Is that centered? It is. Okay. Does it all turn properly? Do a check before I actually build the silo. Yes, it does. Oh. There is no power source plugged in for this thing yet, because of course we don't have that mythical 1400 power engine, which can't run it, because I got my maths wrong last time. But we do have at least something to try and test it on. Though this feels a bit like bullying, quite honestly. Okay, let's see. What will it do to a Marauder? Probably very bad things. Only one shell from the forward... Oh, I know. It's because I... Yeah, so the other barrels weren't actually loaded on the other design. Okay, good to know. That means I need to save it again. Yep, one, and then a very tight clustering of 4 because these guys are very accurate. But is that in line for... Pretty much, it's almost going to... I think it's going to go right above the AI. Oh, one went straight through it. Did I miss? I think I missed. Yeah, I missed. Okay. Can't have that, so that means I'm going to shoot it again. And that, yeah, that immediately caught it. Yeah, I know. The Marauder is not the intended target for this kind of thing. Right, I need to save this turret again, just to make sure I've got it saved with all ports set properly. There we go. In fact, because it's a nice big cap, let's add a little bit more armouring to it. Because why not? Let's increase the neck thickness ever so slightly. There we go. Definitely a stylish turret, I think. Your battleship Mark IV is a damage sponge, while bad fighting ship perfect for shooting at because of its dummy thick armor. Do I have one of those? No, you. I don't think you didn't. I don't think you watched me last time, Analog. So I don't think I've got that. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. Let's get the turret cap starting to take shape. One short. Actually, that's too short, isn't it? Depends on how much I want in here. Actually, that's perfect. Right. There we go. And for that to have full rotation still, the upper deck needs to be in that shape. I think. Let's double check this. It is a 5x5, which means it needs actually to have 3 more clearance around it. This thing is so useful. Okay. There we go. That's what the thing has to look like. Yeah. Here it is in case I want it. Where have you put it? Is it on the Discord? 3x3. This one is, Dan, but I just up-armored it on the other turret. So it's actually a 5x5 now. It's in the chats. I'm just looking for it right now. Which chat? I think is probably the better thing to ask. Yeah, if you could just direct message stream chat. Oh, I can't access it from the stream chat. One layer of HA to try and provide some effective resistance. Whoops, have I built it correctly though? And just to speed it up, 15, 1, 15. 15, 1, 15. Begin capture. There we go. Nice, quick and easy. DM'd, so, alright, thank you very much, Analog. I'll go and grab that. And, hiya, Cal. Welcome to the stream. Not seen you in a while. How have you been? I need a 4 for this bit. 3, then 2. And of course I need the single block HA there. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 4, 3. Oh, that one can be a 4 actually. Right. And there we go, 1 HA shell of appropriate size for this turret to be in. Excellent. So this means of course I'm also going to delete the turret that's already in there because details. Goodbye turret. Now how tall is this thing? Yeah, you never know how life is going to be. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it sucks, but it's a ride the whole time. 4, 8, 9 to 11, 12, about... I think about 15... Sorry, no, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20... 21 is what I want to say for the height, which means this is a 22 because it's got something underneath as well. Well, that should be about right. 23. Oh, I was almost there. Unfortunately, I don't get the prize for it because I wasn't quite there. So. Okay. Alright, let's see. If I want to get this lined up, that should fit fine. How big is the turret? 1, 2, 3, 4. The turret's 4. It would fit if I built it there, but I feel like that's a bit too close. Like, I need a gap. Let's do 1. What if I put a 2... or 4... Let's go with... and also increase the height a little bit further. If I'm gonna streamline this thing like I like to, it has to be further back. There's no escaping it. This craft needs to be longer. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. That's a gap of 5. 6, 7. But what about if I do it like... Okay, yeah, about there. Okay, right. Put it like that. I'm going to make it 4 higher. And then I'm going to put the actual turret on top of there. Sorry about this, it's just like trying to make sure it goes where I want it. So how does that look? There we go. How's Landanar? Landanar is still really good. If you say, watch my last video of Landanar, gone further ahead with some interesting tech, then that tells me you might be referring to the previous set back when it was still in early access. I started trying to do something called Flight of the Rookie. Though I've only done one part of that so far. There is a second one which is ready to go out later this week though. Maybe even today, if I don't put something else instead. But it was like doing that in a third person kind of thing instead. which is, it feels a bit weird to me, but it's also a bit sarcastic, and it's a different approach to it. So I don't know which one you mean. Let's put it that way. But yeah, Landonar has turned out pretty well, I would say. Let's do that. Is that in the correct place? That is in the correct place. So if I put my turret there, and I put my turret there, that seems about right. That looks okay. You said it's too tall, Wellner? How do you mean? Like just the overall design of it? Because yeah, it is a bit on the tall side. I'll accept that one. Ooh, I've done something to mess them up because they're not turning properly. They should be turning. What have I done wrong? I'm guessing it's something in the turret neck. Might be as simple as just tearing out these bits because it's a bit of an odd shape. No. Okay, I've gone wrong somewhere. Go me. That's strange. It was turning before. Great. The part where you mentioned about only being limited to the rust bucket. Yeah, that is the flight of the rookie. Oh dear. Okay, so this thing doesn't work properly. Good to know. Just scrap that turret completely. Off it goes. And we need to work out why this one's not turning properly. Did I pick the wrong one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Three, 5. Yeah, this is the one I used. Does that mean that this is wrong? Oh, that is wrong. No! It's what I based my entire design on. Nah. Oh well. That's fine. Yeah, easy fix. The outer shell can be easily adjusted a little bit. That's okay. Okay. Now if I just do it like just need to put this stuff back into place again because I know what's up with it now. And that is, I think it's just a little bit too tight inside. So if I strip out these corner pieces, it should be good to go. Of course, got to do it on the front as well. That's that. These bits need it doing too. Okay, so now does it turn? It does. Okay, yes, that was the problem. Okay. So it seems like that the guide I'm using was made before the some change or other that came in. Let's patch the holes up. Oops. Yeah, but it's a pretty old guide to be honest, but it's still a really good one. Yeah, well. Okay, that means I just need to get that thing copied out again. Right. Capture. I need the big prefab, that one. There we go. And that should allow me to just slot in the new turret because it's the change design. And we have ourselves forward main guns. There we go. Right. 2 big railroads. And yep, they're all turning properly. They look very dangerous. Okay. Moving on, which I am sure is a great relief to everyone involved. Get rid of this one. Don't need it. Right, next up we need to get a power source at least for these guys. So, let's see, we worked it out at, just to be on the safe side, like 14k per turret. Let's double check that really quickly. Our railguns are actually running hotter than they were before. They are now using 14120 every 3 point... actually no, it's 4.27. Okay. That's fine though. 4.27 times 4 equals 1,322. So yeah, still 14,000. 14,000 per second per turret. Okay. Just help me out for a second because I want to go out and find analogs. Thing is just sent to me. Oh, you sent me a shared file link rather than the actual blueprint. Okay, I don't think I can grab that one without backing out of the designer. But I will use it as the punching bag in the future though, so I'm subscribing to that now. The Heavy Battleship Mark IV. I'll look forward to checking that one out. Okay, right, so 14,000. Between the two guns, 28. Let's be safe and round it to 30. 30,000. We can do this pretty straightforward, since I'm planning to use steam as the main power source. So yeah, we need a steam system which can generate 30,000 per second to run 2 of these turrets. Send me the design file if you want. That would be good, Mr. Analog. The difference is, if you send me the actual file, then that means I can actually load it straight in during the stream, with no further messing around needed. So if you send that to me, then as soon as I get it, I can load it in, because I know where to put it. Anyway, yeah. Steam. We need a big, beefy steam boiler, because why not? It's frankly easy with these guys. That's a controller. Okay, let's get this thing cranked up to full power and work out how much we need. But this thing's already producing 23. If I put another end on it, that should be pretty close. Oh, yeah, there we go. A 5-meter huge boiler is all it needs. Awesome. That produces 31 versus the 28 that's actually required, so good. That's a couple of thousand spare, and it'll let things keep running quite nicely. Now I could put a let's put a pair of connectors into it. And then, because of how the steam systems work at the moment, we don't need much more than to vent steam all over the ocean surface, because the ocean is not warm enough. That'll teach the ocean for being cold, just warm it up. Yes. In fact, you know what, let's add a third one in there, just because. Why not? Okay. Yeah, but now we're going to take this massive output and we're going to route it into the smallest possible turbines. Because FTD does not care. And that's all we need for that. So yeah, admittedly it's not as... I don't find that anything like as funny as the 1,400 horsepower fuel engine I thought would run one of these turrets last time. But for a steam engine generator, that's all we need, combined with the battery stacks back there. So yeah, that's all. That should be all it requires. And we can just tuck one of those around down here somewhere, and that'll run both of these turrets with a little bit extra. So of course the system is trying to reload at the moment, so yeah, that's going to take a bit. Let's see. I'm just going to run this along here because this is going to be the base part actual. So we're getting metal plating installed. We don't need this metal plating here anymore. Yep. Reinforce that just to help hold it for a little bit longer, but this is a good spot right here, tucked away at the bottom of the ship beneath the turrets to house one of those steam generators. So that should be good. Let's check my Discord really quick. Nope. Okay. So yeah, I was just checking to see if I'm going to send it. What kind of armor setup am I thinking for this? Not that impressive for a dreadnought, admittedly. Because quite honestly, you can already see how big the silos are for these primary guns. Oh, you haven't sent it yet? Yeah, that's fine. I was just checking for it. But during my initial part, I was thinking like of going with this, which is like a width 25. And as it turns out, that's half the width of the Carolus Rex, which is Damodoc's dreadnought, that this thing is meant to be like an equivalent class of ship to. But this doesn't give me any real space for extra armaments and things tucked in beside these guys, except for maybe the kinetic Sabo turrets, which are still yet to be built. So that's the question. How much armor and things do I want? So I'm thinking a little bit wider might be a better idea, just to give us a bit more space to work with. 25, 7, 9, 3, 4, 5. So 35 is that width. So is 35 meters across a good width for it? I don't want to go much more than this. Having to find it. Oh, sorry, Analog. I didn't mean to send you digging around through your blueprints and all that. So yeah, if you don't want to, then don't worry about it. It's just that it would have let me bring it straight in for this stream. Okay, let's see. Those should be good. That boiler, let's check its burn rate. It runs on 16 material per second. Yep, 16 per second. So an additional pair of those guns on the back would be worth 32 per second material-wise. So yeah, I think this is very doable. Your mess of an install. Do you have your constructables in your documents folder, Analog? Or did you move it to somewhere else? Or is it just, or is it not Windows? Actually, that's another question. That is another question, isn't it? Okay, I don't need you right now. Let's set the Rexarius so it's actually an ocean craft. That'll probably help.
Water mode at your service.
Rexarius, unspawn the spin block template. Bring back in Rexarius shells. So let's see what kind of things we need for the other weapon systems. This was the test thing for the kinetic sabos. Kinetic sabos are 2-meter shells. Pretty cheap, cheerful, kind of dangerous. That should be easy enough to turn into a nice beefy turret. Since it's a secondary weapon system, but it's still an important one. So it's going to get. I'm thinking either a double or quad turrets. So I'll ask you guys: do you think I should make the Sabo turrets double barrel or quad barrel? And I'll let you guys pick for that one. Because additionally, over under or side by side. For turret design as well, because I'm leaning towards, if it's a quad barrel, I'm thinking over under. Sent it. Okay, let's grab that. Downloads. Blueprint. Show in the folder, please. Thank you. Viewing folder. Heavy Battleship Mark 4. Grabbed. Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, right, let's load this thing in. It was the Mark 4, there it is. A 327k ship. Ooh. Oh, I saw missiles peeking out of the side of that. I also see this thing doesn't like incoming missiles very much. Oh, yeah, those are definitely armoured silos for medium missile... medium torpedoes, actually. Those are torpedo tubes. This thing packs a lot of firepower, it looks like. Well, it has a lot of payload dedicated to weapons. Decoys? Yeah, I'm thinking decoys there. This is short range, well, short to mid range AA missile batteries. Rear cram cannons with hardeners. Rear turrets do extend underneath. You do a little bit, but the big guns are not the main armament of this ship, it doesn't look like. Okay, and general purpose, what are you? 88mm, so that's general purpose AA, I'm calling that one. Some more crams, some slightly bigger forward cannons. Hey, there's a lot of weapons on here. Hey. Though, what Analog said about this is that it's actually the armour which is of particular note here. So, let's spawn in something else. I'm going to get another holder post. And I want you to grab the heavy battleship. Thanking you. So the battleship now flies. Having so many weapon systems, it's very hard to unarm it. That's one of the advantages of a lot of weapons. It can be very hard to completely stop it. Oh, I forgot to mention it's also got these broadside turrets as well. They seem to be... yeah, they're secondary guns, but they are not fixed into the broadside position because they do have some articulation on them. So they're gimbal mounted. That's the name for it. Okay, so let's go ahead and use what I learned last time, which is we need a new AI core on this thing. Also, I'm going to turn off the AIs and movement on that. And attach an enemy simulator to it. You are attached, yes, and you will be active indefinitely. There we go. Okay. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I go with so many weapons. It's like redundancy, redundancy, redundancy. Though from what you guys are saying, Analog and Dan, you would like the kinetic Sabo turrets to be a double turret system. Sorry, double weapon system, rather. Does anyone have a thought on what the EMP shells should be in as well? The shield breakers. As we do this weapon test. Now these guys should all be fully loaded. I'm going to aim at midships because that's generally where the thicker armor is in the castle area. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, yep, it's got... yeah, it had missile interceptors. It's detonated 2 of them. But the interceptors were not fast enough to catch the other 6. This is going to hurt unless it's got shields. If it's got shields, this is going to be quite easy to stop, quite honestly. Oh, there goes some more. Another 2. Gone. But there's still 4. Yep. Straight in. Oh dear, that's looking a bit painful, that. Dear. According to the readout, that inflicted 23,500 kinetic damage and 60,000 explosive damage. What I'm wondering is if that was the shell or if we touched off a magazine. I'm suspecting that was a magazine detonation. Oh, there goes one of the secondary guns. But we'll see what kind of hole it's made. Okay, let's speed it back up. Punch, 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 punch. Got into some... okay. Can I build on you, please? Oh, it's not letting me because the enemy simulator is active. So that kicked in. I think it triggered some of your internal ammo and some fuel reserves, but overall, not that much damage. Oh, that was just the shell going off. Okay. Wait, does the shell have explosives set on it? I forgot to check when I adjusted it. Let's see. Yes, it does have some... Why are you set to... Okay, yeah, so when I tuned them earlier, they kind of messed the settings up a little bit. So they've actually got some explosives in that. So let's try it. Let's see. So these shells are not doing as much heat effect, but they are doing some explosive until the fresh ones get cycled in. But the AMS system though seems to be intercepting about half of the shell's en route. But even though they've got some explosive rather than heat, they are doing okay. Oh, a couple of salvos to the same spot though, is just punching straight through it. Oh dear. Oh, that was an explosion on the other side of it. Oh jeez. Use the shells. It's not so much that they're useless, Lauren, it's just that they are specialised against dense builds. Also, there's the fact since I'm player controlling them, they are... yeah, since I'm player controlling them, they're focusing on the same bit, so they're over-penetrating quite a lot. This is not what they're really meant for. Like, there's also the fact, actually, that despite what Analog said, a lot of his craft has got hollow spaces, which is good against, yeah, I mean, look at this, there's a big hollow area here. Yeah, so this isn't overbuilt like one of mine or Razul's would be. Well, there's some heavy armor here, but, yeah, whatever was in here, it got blown up, because the shells have gone straight through it. So... yeah, so, yeah, this is not the perfect target for these particular cannons, but it's still interesting to check it out anyway. AP and ammo, so I actually torched your ammo magazines. That, yeah, that is still a very useful thing to do, though not quite... I'm just firing blind, basically. But yeah, I am over-penetrating really, really hard. Yeah, but another purpose of this test, though, is just how well the power supply is keeping up with steady fire. And yeah, the batteries aren't even blinking at this. So I did the math correctly for the steam generator that's running down there. Let's put one straight into the torpedo bank. Oh. Well, I hope you weren't using the torpedo bank on the other side of the ship, because that got killed as well. Okay. It'll still float even when the entire front half of the craft is torn off. That is good design. Okay, so it hits that, and it... yeah. Honestly, I think your craft is a bit smaller than these shells are meant to be dealing with. Oh dear. Just for good measure. There we go. Shoot off the rear radar. Because why not? Okay. Can I send the ship blueprint, the one I'm working on, because you want to test it on your ships later? Yeah, sure. Give me a sec. Save it. I'm also going to save it separately, so any further changes won't be done. But this is like there we go. So there we go. We've got a save with just these forward guns on it. Okay. I would honestly not be surprised if this ship still floated in some capacity. Let's release it and find out. Do you still float, good sir? Yep, it's stable. It seems to be staying afloat with the deck at almost at the waterline. So yeah, that's yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Bapple, for thinking that looked cool. It's one of the reasons for working on a bigger ship like this. It's just like big guns are a quality all of their own, you know. Unfortunately, because my craft is elevated now, it's struggling to aim at it. Yeah, this ship has suffered quite a bit. Oh dear. Anyway, if you give me a second, I'm just hopping into the Discord really quickly. Don't worry, I'll be back in a moment. I'm just I'm going into my Discord, into vehicle designs, and I'm going to throw out the BP there. See if I've got the right folder open. There it is. No, not downloads. I want constructions. There it is. Right. Rexarius forward guns. Throw that out onto the Discord. The main gun. There we go. Alright. Yep, Lauren, I've just put that up on my Discord, so you can grab that when you want. Okay, results. I'm happy with how that's performing. Admittedly, it didn't do too well against Analog's ship here. Except for the fact it was getting past the laser defences pretty well. But admittedly, the ship is of a smaller design than these shells are really meant to face. And there's the fact that you've got that all-or-nothing armor scheme as well. That was messing things up too. But yeah, that is still... looks like a pretty reliable ship, I would have to say. As well as the fact you struggle to knock it out. What? If I destroy enemy craft, does that count? Yes, it does. Okay, off it goes. Okay, anyway, moving on. You guys said double. The main guns are... I think the main guns on your ship there, Analog, were more for show than anything else. Well, they were capable, they just weren't designed for equivalent tonnage crafts. But I didn't look at the shells though, so I don't know what they were like. Now then, an appropriate size steam engine will fit straight here. Could probably do with a few meters gap, I guess, just in case something touches off some of the shells in there. But yeah, that should be enough. But yeah, that is enough of a steam generator to deal with all this, so that is fine and dandy. Okay. Which means we need another... If we put 2 more of these guns on the back, then that'll be fine. We'll need... yeah, it's like 32, isn't it? Power? 32 materials per second? Yeah, 32 materials per second to run all 4 guns. Not counting ammo cost, of course, but that's different. Okay. Yeah, and look, what I'm thinking is that you've not seen the AMS has been buffed, because it has been. Okay, right. Anyway, yeah. We need to get the Sabo turret into operation now. And of course, as I said, you guys voted for... well, you guys said you wanted to see it double. So we're going to go double. So I need a new turret. I think a 3 meter as well. But this is going to be actually a much narrower, much cheaper weapon. So it's going to be ridiculous. Yeah, this is going to be ridiculous. But because it's small, it's going to fit in nice places as well. $25k turret. Just about, Lauren. It's 25k per shell. That's how much charge it is. But the railguns are actually big enough to run at a 50% efficiency. So it actually works out at like 13k because there's also a bit of extra going in for accuracy. And then they fire just over every 4 seconds. So it works out at about 13,500 per turret. So wait, what is that? That's the Rexarius shells. I want to... Rexarius shells, I want to pull you out. Spin block templates, you're back in. Good.
Listening.
That holder post over there, I can pull you out. Okay. Done my math right? Yes, this time I have actually done my math right, and I double checked it as well before I settled on that steam engine to run both those 2 turrets. But yeah. Have I done my math right? Yes. Yes, I have. I'm thinking one of these. Not one of these, one of these. Yeah, one of these. Oh, that might be a bit short on ammo, actually. But if we're making it a more compact turret, then this is probably a good way to go. 1, 2... No, if we went on this one, that's the 3. So the next one up would be this one. 1, 1, 2, 1. Depends on how much cooling we want on this thing. I think more guns probably, rather than like a single, more powerful example of the breed, is probably the best way to... Well, not the best way, it's how I want to go with it, so we have more turrets. Because technically this is the tertiary weapon system we're on now. So that's a 3, then a 1, then a 3. Okay, yeah, let's go with that. 1, 2. Okay. 3. 3. Of course, this is simplified by the fact that the sabos are not intended for railgun use. You're hearing something. I think it's Alpha calling hit me in the head. Alpha calling hit me. Is, Little Mean, hello Little Mean, welcome to the stream. Is this live or a minute behind? Well, there's always a bit of lag responding to the chat. To timestamp this, I'll type something now. There's always some chat lag, but this is live. Live. I'm hitting enter now. There we go. Okay. Right, yeah. But anyway, this is going to be the simpler talk because it's not a railgun. Okay. Let's move on. And of course this is going to be like, leave 2 gaps on the corners. Which is like, yeah, okay. Metal beam it. Actually, we don't need to do that yet, but we do know where the outer edges are. It would help if I was actually working on the turret itself, but there we go. Okay. But since this is only a duel, we can just mirror mode it and build it. Will this stream end in a crash? I do not know. Likely. Depends on how long how long has the stream been going on actually? 2 hours. It might. Yep, my throat is telling me it's 2 hours. Okay, breaking out the sweet, sweet chemicals. Just give me a second, please. Okay. Right. First drink in a couple of hours of constant talking. Hooray! You said the Alpha wanted to be hit? End in a fight? We can try for it. Let's see, the Alpha was crying out in the distance, hit me, hit me! Okay, Alpha. You are being spawned. How expensive is the Alpha? The Alpha is a 488k design compared to the heavy battleship's 327. Oh, that holder post is still out there. I thought it despawned you. Eh. Whatever. Okay, right, so the Alpha's getting into position, ready for target practice. Let's strap on the new mainframe. And the wireless, sorry, the enemy simulator rather. Activate you. Wait, all the shield. Okay, Lauren. These guns will do barely anything to the Alpha in their current form. Just so you know. And that is because the Alpha has active shields. Okay, let's see what happens, but there's going to be a lot of explosions and not much to show for it. Here we go. Your AMS is really good, actually. Your AMS is stopping them all. Wow. Stop bullying my helpless shells! Oh dear. Yep, this is going well. Okay. Oh. Right. Whip out the shield busters. Well, the only problem with that is that I don't actually have any weapons built for the shield busters yet. So, yeah. Oh, because it's permanently locked on, this thing is actually locked in hostile mode. Because I can't get at it. There we go. Yeah, those lambs are really good. Wait, is this just weapon testing now? Okay. Let's bring the alpha back in. But before I strap it into its seat and tell it to start making rude gestures towards my weapon system, I'm going to disable the AMS system. So yeah, come on, Alpha. It's time for some non-elective surgery. Where's your lasers? Is it Shift B or? Yeah, Shift B. Okay, right. AMS system. Come on, where is your AMS? I want to render you vulnerable. Well, more vulnerable. Oh, here we go. Okay, you're coming from that's a splitter. That's another splitter. Where is the AMS core? I've gone past it, haven't I? Must have done. Yeah, that is still a decent AMS though. Ah, laser coupler. There it is. It's because you painted it fluorescent yellow. Whenever things are painted a random colour, I always miss them. But yeah, there we go. That's the AMS disabled. Okay. Okay. Alpha, time to show us your true colours and make rude gestures at people. So there we go. Alpha, I turned you off first though. Whoops. You saw nothing. Only minor damage though, because it saw an exposed player and just shot me. Well, actually it shot the ammo block next to me, but hey. It didn't take out the guns, which would have slowed me down a bit more, but hey. There we go. Okay, that's all fixed. Good. Right. Yeah, let's see. Let's bring the cannons around then and see what happens. Oh. Oh, I think I know why. Yeah, it's flat shielding, that's why. I happened to hit it head on, so it's only flat shielding in the way. Okay. Also, are the alphas set to reflectors? Deflect or reflect? That's an important question. Oh dear, the lateral shielding is just not stopping them. Look at that hole straight through. Okay. Let's test it. Where's the there's the upper hole shielding. There, the angles. There we go. 0 damage. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that salvo against the 45-degree shielding was completely neutralized, but the side shielding is that is actually a weakness. But that AMS system though, that was really good. Yeah, it just can't stop shells hitting head on. What do you mean counter found, little mean? Reflect only. Yeah. In that case, Lauren, that's exactly why it's piercing the shielding on the side. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's grab this and we will. There's no option to roll it. I can't get the angle change I wanted, but yeah. Reflector shields, they work based on the angle versus the incoming shell. So long-range bombardment coming down on the upper deck here would do okay, but they would normally be reflecting a lot. But these ones hitting against this side shields, these side shields are all flat, so there's not going to be very much angle. You have no spacing? It's not about the shield spacing, and you've actually got overlapping shields, you've got 2 layers. The problem is that the shells are hitting at pretty close to, I think it's like 85 degrees or so. So it's just too sharp an angle. Yeah, so without the angle of the shields just aren't stopping them. Yeah, there we go. A couple of them detonated before impact, but the rest just went straight through. So yeah, if your AMS does get disabled, your craft becomes a lot more vulnerable to inbound shells. But you could compensate for that by adjusting your shield layout. The only problem with your shielding here is that it's so flat along the side. But yeah, okay. So that was actually a good demonstration as well. So because it showed what the shells are like against shielding. Against various types of shielding as well, as it happens. Flat shielding and angle shielding. Hello, Litar. Welcome to the stream. Missed a bit last time I was here. It was a gun alone. Yeah, now it's actually starting to take on some of its final form. Though it's nowhere near its true final form, because the final form would actually have a form. Let's get the handsome in. But I seem to have got sidetracked into testing the finished forward cannons versus various targets. So, yeah. I don't know. let's also take out the spin block template, at least at the moment. Okay, so. Mostly 75s. AI spam. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I need to turn off all your AIs on that guy. So that it doesn't shoot back when I turn him hostile. All those blooming AIs. Okay, and I'm gonna give him, of course, thing on his nose, which will make him start making rude gestures at anyone nearby, so we can shoot him. Because that's all we need. There we go. Okay. Now then, Handsome has no shielding, is what Mean says. So that means this will be an anti-armor test. Is that AI redundancy on the Handsome? It's redundancy, Dan, but it's also it draws weapon systems as well. So what Mean said about it last time is it's set up so that the AIs can all cover for each other as they get knocked out, but it's like an AI on each gun. So it's like if you knock out all the guns on one side, then it's gonna be in trouble anyway. But hey, details. No wait, that's not right. Sorry, there's an AI on each gun, so you have to target each gun individually, but they don't share function. I think. I'm not too sure. You'll have to ask Little Mean for the details on it. But yeah, that went straight through the rear armor. But the rear armor is like spaced, so it's like a single shell hit each time, and then off it went. Let's see. Oh yeah, the thing deactivated. Let's get that back up. If I aim a little bit lower, we'll have a little bit too low. Okay, so if I aim there, that's hitting solid. Well, it's not pretty solid armor. Okay. Some of these are not firing. No, they are firing. Yeah, okay. Oh, those rear-mounted propellers, though. But to be honest though, we did test the single barrel against the Handsome last time as well. So we already have an idea of what it's gonna do. So yeah, it's knocking holes. It's not well suited, again because of the large amounts of empty space that are in here. So it needs to hit the right area to be most effective, which in this case I think is mostly beneath the weapons. Then when it hits there though, it's the armoring in place is not enough to stop them, especially since there's 8 shells now rather than just 1. Oops. Yep, that did something. Yeah, that main gun there, a single salvo just tore straight through it. And touched off some ammo reserves from the look of it as well. Let's have a look, see. How far did it go? Let's see. If we go into here, it got past this gap, punched into the silo, and then just touched off the gun. It was actually not head on, it was off to the side, so a bunch of the shells detonated around this area. But still definitely doing its job though. Okay, let's see. Yeah, and once again, empty space, it's just going straight through it. These shells over-penetrate so much. I'm sorry for your poor little guns there, Little Mean, but it's just that I don't have much else to try and aim at. So it's like, if I hit most of the ship, it's going to hit empty space. So let's hit where I know there's something to do damage to, which is beneath the guns. Because then at least I'm doing something. Just do it like that. Excuse me. Right, sorry. Right, getting a bit caught up with the chat though. Shortest Viking, hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Just good to see you starting to play FTD a bit again. But yeah, welcome back. Such a waste of thinking. Oh, I think. Well, Lauren, it's the AIs are doing something. It's just. Yeah, the AIs are doing something. It's just like redundancy to a factor of 11, more than anything else. See if the guns can take the mast off. Okay, then. Well, they should be able to just fine. Actually, let's aim at this block here. Easy peasy. Okay. Right. But yeah, especially since they're very accurate guns as well, so that wasn't much of an issue for them. If it was further away, it would have a bit more trouble, but there's like 8 shells in one of those salvos at the moment. But on the finished design, those cannons, it would be like either 12 or 16 shells, usually. I don't know. Let's put something through the bridge. Oh, yep, straight through. Okay. Yeah, these things, well, their accuracy. I still follow the old standard, which is like, if you want to have a decent long-range gun, then you want a .3. These things are operating at .096. So yeah, these things are very, very accurate. Okay, let's see. Viking, planning on recording a new campaign now that you've got your recording setup dialed in finally. Well, okay. I'll be curious to see what you come up with then, Viking. Let's see what you do with it then. Let's see. Accuracy test. Yep. Also, what's the maximum pen depth on those shells? The max pen depth very much depends on. Let's get that guy out of there. It depends on what it's hitting. But it's set to go off at 0.3 seconds. Or 0.03 seconds? At 0.03 seconds, these things have a speed of 712. 740 and 21. So, yeah, so they should be going off at like between 5 and 10 meters from initial impact. That's roughly where they're set to detonate. Sorry, I got distracted again. Okay, right. what are we on stream-wise? What's the stream time at? We are at 2 hours 25. We can do a basic knock-up of... Yeah, let's do this. We can do a basic knock-up of a Sabo turret, at the very least. And then we'll end with something shooting something. Let's see. What I want is the 2-meter loader. Is that enough? But this is basically what I'm looking at in terms of ammo system. So I told you this wasn't going to be very complex compared to the other one. Okay, let's see. If we do it this way, that is 3, 4, 5, 7, 14, 28 shells preloaded per thing. Cool. Random question: would turtleback armor be effective for stopping H3 heat? If you mean the shells that I'm using, well, you can drop me a blueprint and I'll give it some shooting if you want. Yeah, well, Viking, that's the thing though. You want to be having fun though, isn't it? So yeah, it's good to have you back, but take your time and be yourself. Very much so. Let's see. 1 blink, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is also being set up for a 4-meter deck plate. Ammo input feeds. And yes, I know, I skipped a level of inputs there. It's only in the name of speed. Oh, I can't quite get one under there. That's okay. Okay, so... That's fine. Yeah. Okay, so... that is 28, though 2 of them don't have underside ammo feeds. But that's okay. Where are the clips? We are using no clips. We are using clipless designs. We could install clips though. That would increase the reload time actually, and the shell capacity. How would that affect the reload? Actually, that's a valid question, which I asked myself. Why clipless? In general, it's going to be. I think that the trade-off is it's a bit faster loading things, but the trade-off is that it's also more costly as well. So that's the turret top. Okay, that's the top of the turret mechanism. Then it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the deck plate, and then up here is where the actual cannons start to go in. So again, 4-meter decking, just to make sure that the mechanism is well shielded. How big do I want this to be? So is that too big? That seems about right. Okay, let's go with that. Of course, these things are going to be AA capable, so that's going to be a thing. So we want the firing pieces. Let's recess them slightly. So put them there. Which means we need to do shenanigans with the... yeah, recess them there. Which means shenanigans with the... yeah, shenanigans. We're doing things with the gauge splitters to get that working properly. So that is now connected. Then with the AA mantles, which are going to go on the front. Then of course we need some barrels installed, which is going to be bore evac first, followed by 2 of them, 1 of them. So that's actually pretty small overall. Though again, my turret caps tend to be like a bit smaller. They're not as durable as most people's, but they have their own style, kind of thing. Do I want that to be a 2 or a 1? Let's go with a 2. But because it's so compact, I'm just designing the turret as I go anyway. So it's like, yay, turret. Okay. Okay. 2 meter. Sorry, I was just looking away from the thing. Daka, too many creases. How many creases have I put on? Way too many, actually. But that's purely because I built it to get the shape of it. So yeah, I've built it out of increases, but then I'm going to convert those into cooling units. And I'm thinking like maybe this angle back slightly design. Well, this of course means it's not going to fit as easily in other spots. So it affects where it's going to be able to sit a little bit. Because it'll need a little bit more guaranteed space around it to be able to turn properly. By giving it this raised cowling on the back. But if I do it like that... Turn that around. I think that's, yep, that's a 3. Then I replace that one with a 3 slab as well. So yeah, this is basically the opposite. Well, it's not really the opposite of how the other one went, because this one is... I've basically got the internal mechanism already, so it's just like adding more stuff to it. So it's like, yeah. Yeah, welcome back though, Analog. So yeah, welcome back. If you missed what I said before, I said if you'd send me a blueprint with your armor, I'd be happy to shoot explosives at it. Let's see, could add cooling. Yep, that's the next thing. Add some cooling to it. And Evlol, welcome to the stream. You've don't know if you've been here a while, but this is the first time you talked, so welcome. Gauge increaser 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from here onwards, we need coolers instead to deal with cooling. There we go, and that can go all the way down to there without further modification on it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I thought you'd missed that, Analog. But yeah, I am willing to do a bit more target practice if you send me your armor to be shot at. So yeah. Since that's apparently what I do on this stream. Okay, right. Not the flak head. I want the sabo heads. Sabo. Well, it's what I've been doing, really. I've been shooting at stuff. Okay, have I missed something here? Wait, what size did I have that set to? Where's the thing? Here they are. 500 puts them at 4. Did I drop this? Did I drop the caliber on them? I seem to remember doing that. Let's check and see. Let's get my shell rig in there. Because that's not quite right. What are you set to? You are set to 500s. Oh, whoops. That's the flak gun. Whoops. Sorry guys, we've not built the Sabo, we've accidentally built the flak gun. Oh well. We needed to build it anyway, so that's fine. Whoops. Oh dear. Okay, flak gun, right. Switch to the flak heads. Force assign everything to override it. Whoopsie. Isn't that a time fuse one? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I need to add some laser rangefinders into this as well. Okay. But there is actually perfect spots right here on top of the firing pieces where I could just tuck in some laser rangefinders for it, so that's absolutely fine. Right, advanced cannon, laser targeting. There we go. And sorted. We now have ourselves a flak gun. Excellent. Add it onto the mantles. It doesn't attach to the mantles, if I recall, but it does attach to the firing pieces right behind them, so that's okay. Okay, you say you've sent armor to be test fired at. Alright. Blueprints. Download armor experiment. Got it. Showing the folder. Give me the other folder. Whichever the one I want, because it's right there. For viewing. Armor experiment blueprint. Got it. Okay. So yeah, we've accidentally got ourselves a flak gun. At the same time, I can't believe I did that, and I am not surprised that I did that. There we go, armor experiment. Nope. Okay, let's grab onto the armor experiment, which is over there. I'm guessing this is a cross section, so it needs to be hit side on. Is that correct? Yeah, I think that's the right way around. And yes, analog, it is a flak, 500mm flak. Welcome to the primary close-range anti-aircraft cannons. Let's set the accuracy down. The only question is how well it fires. And you will need to be. I don't even know what weapon group to put these guys in. Jeez. Let's hop away from the command console for a moment and just take direct control of this one. Because there's going to be more weaponry than this. There we go. can't turn properly because that's in the way, so I'll just turn it around this way. But this is not what you wanted tested, though. Okay. Right. Okay, so it is facing the right way. It's an experiment I'm doing to test armor schemes, specifically with this composite tailback with multiple layers of material. Okay, so how many salvos do you want then? Yeah, how many salvos do you want me to throw at this thing? Oh, it's over there. Okay. What's that? There's the spin block. 90. Just bring it around. That went well. Right. Well, there's a single block left, I think. Yep, there it is. Come back to us, holder post. Oops. Well, that was accidentally crushing the holding fortress beneath the weight of the cannons, so, you know. Mistakes were indeed made. Turn it very slowly this time. There we go. That should be good for at least this test. Jeez. But yeah, take out the shells. Again, don't need them. Okay. Right. Analog is saying 1 salvo. Make it spin forever. The problem is that the fact that the docks let go if the speed is exceeded. But yeah, I only turned it so I could get a clear shot with the flat gun at the Marauder. Because I'm curious to see what the flat guns will do against the Marauder. So, for science. And then I'm going to remove them after saving them. So that, yeah. Okay, here we go. Right, I want you to focus on that bit. Because I also need to see rate of fire and stuff like that as well. Pretty decent. That's 4 shots. Not done very much, but they are like very basic. It looks impressive, but let's be honest, the shells are not very capable. Also, I think they're making the game lag as well. So, yeah, let's stop doing that. Might have to rethink actually installing that particular weapon system. Okay. Save that sub-object as a new thing. This is a flat cannon. So save that, delete it so we're not accidentally controlling it. Oops. There we go. Okay. Got it. Well, the thing with that is it's meant to be like a very cheap, fast-firing one. So if I show you, look, this is the shell it was using. A single flak head with a time fuse and a bleed base and ammo. So it's like planes, thrustercraft, things like that. It's meant to shred vulnerable components and then drop it into reach of the other guns. So that's kind of what that one's meant to do. Okay, anyway, let's go on. Let's go ahead and get this armor plate. AI, we need a mainframe and a simulator on top of it, which we'll set to be turn it hostile forever and ever. Amen. And there we go. Okay, ready. Okay, bring the cannons around. Are you guys angled? Am I in the right place? I am not. Oops. There we go. Now we just have to wait for the things to turn around and point in the right direction. Because, yeah. Right. You said one salvo, so one salvo is all we're going to send at it. I'm aiming center mass, and we'll see what happens. Give me a few moments. Okay, that's locked in. And... there we go. Those shells look so close, they're actually touching each other. Okay. Oh, hello, Dammer. Welcome. I thought you were going to be busy all day, actually. But yeah, welcome to the tail end of the stream. We are just testing some armor that Analog has sent me for a field test against the anti-armor railguns. So we're going to see what... oh, I think I've aimed at the angle rather than head-on. Yeah, I think I've aimed a little bit too low there, because I was just aiming at center mass rather than like, yeah, that's going to hit a bit low. Okay, let's see. First row impacted. A couple of the shells are detonated. Next, it's hitting the heavy armor. Gone straight in. Oh, a shell's gone straight through the next layer of composite. It's through the glass. It's hitting the metal now. There they are. Oh, you can see one of them's been deflected a little bit. So yeah, that's that. Oh, straight through that as well. Oh, yeah, you can see the deflection on some of them now. But some of them are killing the stuff and clearing the way for the others. That one bounced, but not enough to set it off, and it's straight into the middle compartment as well. So yeah, out of a salvo of 8 shells, 4 of them have got through. Straight into the middle. That is 4 shells? Yeah, that's 4 shells. Okay. Oh, and now they've just detonated because of their fuses. So ironically, the armor you've given me means that the shells will detonate exactly in the middle of your craft, since that's what just happened. So if there was something in here being protected, it would have been hit directly. Though of course, here comes the heat particles from the shells that already detonated. So secondary wave of shrapnel coming through now. Oh dear. This is actually rather interesting. Yep, causing additional damage around the place. Oh dear, that is just widening the hole and helping to ensure anything behind here gets shredded. So oh, there's a few left. They don't have the energy to deal with the heavy armor on the other side, but anything vulnerable in here would have taken a direct hit, basically. from that. Look at this. The outer layer, it's only knocked out like 1 block's worth, but then it's just cored its way straight through it. And 3HA2 metal. Not really, Lauren. Actually, it would knock more or less straight through that in a hit or two. I think part of the reason it's worked like this is because there was actually a whole load of gaps in here as well. Yeah, there's a whole load of gaps in armor spacing, which actually helps to reduce the effect of these kind of shells. The problem is they're penetrating. So that went quite well. So yeah, I wouldn't call this armor useless. It's just that it's not quite enough for weapons of that size and that design. Against most other kinds of shell, it would actually probably do a lot. Tell you what, let's do this. Let's turn it around, since we've got another side of armor we can use. And this time, I'm going to hit it on the upper surface. On the, I think it's the glacis plate? Well, no, wait, that's a tank term, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. So let's hit it here, where a lot more of its sloping is in effect. Unfortunately, I didn't quite wait for it to be in place. So, it's actually staggered fired. Oh. So yeah, if it's turning towards a target, it's going to stagger fire like this instead. Oh dear. But yeah, nice to see you too, Dharma. Hope you have a good time at work. But yeah, it's just like pure armor has. It depends on what's being shot at it a lot of the time. But in this case, we're going to see what happens when 8 shells impact on the same area, one after the other, since that's basically what's about to happen to it. So let's see. First shell has punched into the secondary layers. Oh, then it detonated. Yeah, so then it reached its depth, and I think it's just gone off inside. Yeah, there's an explosion there. But it went straight through the first 1, 2. It's gone through the first 3 layers of armor before detonating against the 4th. But that was still only the first shell, though. Okay. Just if I can build it from scratch. Yeah, it's nice to have patterns and layers and things, but building from scratch is usually required unless you're like using an existing hull or something. And hi, Legend. Welcome to the stream. And doing okay, thank you. A bit tired. Throat's hurting, but we are getting towards the end of the stream, so there is that. Could you stick a strength 5 deflector shields angled on the turtle and see what happens? What strength angle is needed to deflect them? I can answer that straight, actually. Once we get to the right angle, they will automatically detonate. It's just getting enough of an angle to stop it. Let's get the second shell in there. Oh. Well, that's where the second shell's wound up. Yeah, okay, so when they're staggering flying like this, they're just drilling a hole straight through it, basically. So that means we're probably going to get some coming out the other side. That one detonated dead center. Oh, that was a slightly low. Let's see. Oh, that one went straight into the armor on the other side. Yep, there's the heat particles shredding the outer armor on the other side. Oh dear. And damaging the fortress that's holding the armor. Oh dear. Okay, let's get it back up to speed now. But yeah, if they chain fire like that, they actually penetrate better. Though they're still mostly detonating through the armor and into the center, as some of them will just over-penetrate even further. So, okay, let's go ahead and destroy enemy ships. And then we'll go with Dan's request of a Strength 5 deflector shield angled at 45. Because we can slap that together pretty quickly. Armor experiment. Oops. You saw nothing. I don't make mistakes ever. Oh, let's also patch this up as well. Yeah, that's all fixed. Okay. That's twice so far. Right, okay, 45-degree shield. It'll last as long as the shield projector does. So let's get the shield projector out of harm's way. And if I was building the ship, I'd tuck the shield projector somewhere around this area. So like halfway up the thing. And actually, because you've got a sloped underside, for efficiency's sake, I would, as soon as I give it a precious cargo to try to protect. Let's give it a power source for its shield, and we'll put that in the middle where it's trying to keep it safe. Because why not? There we go. Yeah, I'll put some ships up against each other after this. So yeah, this is the last weapon test, and then it's going to be fighting stuff. So strength 5, reflector. Give it the width to cover everything and the height as well. That should be more than adequate for this. Well, actually, we might need to make it even taller, because the next step is to angle it. Because now, for efficiency, I'm going to drop the range down. It needs to be a little bit higher. A 3.5 should be fine. Good coverage. Yep, that looks okay. And of course, just for completion, let's whack one on the other side as well. There we go. There's a nice 45 shield covering most of the thing. And this time I'm not going to refresh the designer before the fight either, because we know what happened last time. Okay. Oh yeah, we also need the enemy simulator as well. Okay, mainframe. So this is either going to deflect the shell, which in this case means it goes boom. Because it's going boom on thin air, it's not going to do much. Or the shield will fail to deflect, in which case the shell will go through with the previously observed results. aim upwards a little bit, so we're aiming at the... that should be roughly where the RTGs are. And let's go ahead and fire it. Yeah, so the thing about the shields though is that it's a chance to deflect it. So every single shell that's trying to get through, there is a chance it's going to deflect based on shield strength, shell speed. So a faster shell is, the easier it is to try and deflect it, and shell angle as well. The thing is, these guys are going to detonate as soon as they get deflected, so... There we go. The shield just absorbed the first 4 shells immediately. And... as you saw there, from the second wave, 3 shells also got taken out. But one of the shells actually got through. Because as we can see from the heat particles, one got through and detonated against the armor. But yeah, that was almost entirely nullified by the presence of those shields. And then the next salvo, a lot of it's detonating against the shield, but the shielding is not enough to stop it. And now the power source is getting badly damaged, so yeah. Yeah. So that's what I thought it would be, to be honest. Let's get it back to speed and start saving and removing stuff and all that jazz. Let's get the flat cannon onto here, which I need to think about if I'm going to use it or not. But I'm going to attach it to the Rexarius anyway for the moment. And then I'm going to save it so that we've got the entire thing all together. There we go. So yeah, the shielding was able to do a lot to stop that stuff. But as soon as the shell broke through, it started to tear holes in the armor anyway. Okay, so that is that. There's nothing else to save. Let's double check to make sure we've actually got the blueprint. The Rexarius. Yep, there's the flat cannon stuck on the back. This thing is worth 236,500 right now, by the by. Which puts the final price probably somewhere about 1.5 million when this thing finally takes shape. But right now we can destroy everything. So there we go. Right, so I guess the question is now, what ships are we going to be facing off against each other first? The thing I will say is, like, we want to have equivalent prices is probably the best way to put it. Let's see, I'm blowing stuff up like the Congas. A free-for-all. The problem with that is going to be, like, some of the craft are a lot lighter weight than others. Okay, let's see. Since you're the first one, you're saying Heavy Battleship Mark IV. Isn't that roughly equivalent to the... Yeah, it's roughly equivalent to a Handsome, isn't it? Let's see. 327 Actually, no, 600. Okay, let's get a Mark IV. I think an Alpha would more or less make up the difference, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm not going to spawn in too many. I'm thinking like 3 would probably be at most. I'm not going to bring in the Wyvern, and we already know that's a beast. Not the Tankimons. Arm Experiment, Alpha 7. The Alpha 7... Oh, the Alpha 7 is like almost 500. No, that's way too much. You know what, let's try it one-on-one first. And we'll start off at 1.5 kilometers facing each other. This is like 2 kilometers. 1.3. Yeah, about here. And we'll bring in the Handsome. No mean for not 2 veteran vets against your overly expensive noob craft. We're going to do it one-on-one just to see how it goes in the first place. Every player design loves long range. Yes, because it's like the enemy has a much better chance to miss at long range. And I'm also going to go into your rear engine bay. And yeah, the best defense is just not to get hit in the first place. Yeah. Some for it. So it's got to be on an AI. Okay. And we're going to set it to go... If we can go for almost 5 minutes. No, that's 10 minutes, sorry. Let's set it for 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, this AI is just to attach the enemy simulator to. Okay, so things are starting to move, and... I think a large problem with yours, actually, is the fact that it's actually really sluggish, it seems like. Let's have a look. Well, I did deliberately have them like facing head on, so the craft would have to maneuver as well. There, you can already see what the battleship is doing now. Anti-missile flares are firing. Looks like sideways launch and then going straight upwards. Now that said though, this is actually a fairly good matchup. Oh, torpedoes are in the water. Because neither of these ships actually have shields. So this is going to be armour against armour. So we're going to see how well this goes. Both these craft have a lot of redundant weapons as well. I mean, there's a bunch of explosions so far, but overall it doesn't look like there's been that much damage. Also, I'm looking at the stream to see how laggy it goes. You don't have a torque defense. Mean your craft is going sideways. Also, I think it's trying to go into reverse. Oh dear. I'm honestly not sure what the Handsome is doing at them. Oh dear, yeah, the Handsome is... I think it's trying to stay away, while the heavy battleship is just closing rapidly. Did I say it's water? I didn't mess with its AI, mean. All I did was change its designation to be a watercraft rather than an aircraft. That doesn't affect its how it moves. Wait, why have they stopped firing? It's already been 5 minutes. No, this guy's still... Really? I think you won. Yeah, there's no sign of an AI for the heavy battleship. Yeah, Analog, your AI is dead. Mean managed to core it out. Oh wait, no, it just got fixed. Off it goes now. So it wasn't dead yet. And I was just checking to make sure I'm not actually in either of these craft, giving an advantage. I'm not. So yeah, the repair bots, it fixed itself. Especially I'm not fixing stuff either. There we go. Yeah, auto repair. Your craft was disabled though, but it came back. Oh, there it goes again. Ouch. That's a lot of damage. But yeah, I think it's... Yeah, I think Mean's craft has got you beat though. You have a lot more variety in your weaponry compared to Mean, but Mean's craft is, at the end of the day, almost twice the price. And Mean may say that that's just useless space, but it is actually bulk that can absorb incoming fire. Okay, right. Yeah. So I think 2-on-1 would probably be a much fairer fight. Destroy everything. And let's reset. Does anyone else have anything they want to put into this then? Because if not, I'll go with 2 heavies versus you've got 261 give you 5 minutes. Okay, but the stream's not going to be on for that much longer, just so you know. But yeah, if you want to send me a 260k, go ahead. Well, send them to me on the Discord. But yeah, we're gonna make my computer cry, and we'll put in a 2v1. Loading the Handsome. And this time we'll start at a 45-degree angle. Let's see. So that way the weapon batteries will be able to get on target faster. But I don't think my computer can handle much more than this, quite simply. But this is roughly price parity. There's like 30 or 40k difference between these two groups now. And mean is slightly cheaper. Also, its craft is turning. It's like almost like it knows what's about to happen to it. Okay, right. Let's set you up for another 5-minute engagement. Okay, there we go. What's the FPS? I have no idea. Because the FPS is... The FPS is... that was from my XSplit, but I don't know if OBS has that. But okay, here we go. We're all set. Let's see what it does. Oh, lots of missiles and things immediately. Counterfire. I'm seeing some lag. Seems to be going okay for the stream side. Steam. Oh, Steam has an FPS counter. Oh, that was some. What's going on? Some minor damage, but it's still way too early to tell what's going on. Once again, though, I mean, your ship doesn't seem to be trying to move. I really suspect that the AI has reverse enabled on it. Because it's just trying to back up and... I'm not even sure what that was doing. Okay. But yeah, I feel like the Handsome is trying to go in reverse and it's not doing a very good job of it. Is that some torpedoes? That is some torpedoes. FTD is in resource conservation mode. There's no trails at all going on anymore. So, from the depths is saying, your computer is dying, buddy, but we're going to try and keep running. So we're just seeing things randomly impacting. Yeah, Handsome is definitely trying to go in reverse. Yeah, the thing with I mean, you say that the tower is the weak spot, because that's where all the sensors are, if I understand your design correctly. But you don't have anything up there that the AI would really target very often. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely trying to back away rather than broadside. So its rear guns have been taken out of the fight by how it's maneuvering. However, that said, it's eaten everything that the heavy ships are throwing at it so far. Oh, this one's been savaged. Just a bit. The forward decking has been chewed up. Mostly intact, though it looks like, though it is actually sitting a bit low in the water. Yeah, that's looking a bit battered, but this one over here has taken a couple of knocks as well, but for the most part also intact. Okay. But yeah, we'll know when 5 minutes has passed from the depths when the fight stops, because of course Handsome will turn friendly again after 5 minutes. Let's see. Automatic flare launchers when there's no enemy missiles detected. So that's actually a constant drain of ammunition, but it is, I guess it's just to be safe, isn't it? Yeah, it's that reverse drive definitely hurting the Handsome, as it's trying to use its forward guns for everything. Though it also seems to be struggling to work out who to shoot at as well. Seems to have switched targets. Oh, I get that. There's a big shell just bounces off the side of it. Those crams could probably do with some fuses, to be quite honest. They seem to be not having a very good time. Yeah, okay. So what's happening is that the Handsome is not focusing its target at all. It seems like it's damaging one, then it switches to the other, and then it goes back again. So it's splitting its firepower between the two. The AIs are having a council meeting. Yeah, pretty much, but it's entirely down to your target prioritization card that's causing that. And yeah, definitely in reverse. Oh dear. First thing you did with new colours was to make a test platform with all material types and figure out how your fleet colours react with all of them. Well, honestly, that's a good idea. I wish I'd thought to do that. But I've not actually done anything with fleet colours since I made my quote-unquote Christmas theme. Or as you guys call it. That red, green and black one. Yeah, the heavies are just trying to close in. Really, really... Like Bismarck versus King George V and Rodney. Yeah, aiming for first blocks. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. It's not really caring about what's the closest thing to shoot at. You're going to be torped. Little Mean, you've been being hit by torpedoes this entire time. I think it's a bit late to be getting worried about that now. In fact, the heavies seem to be struggling to reload their torpedoes a lot, because all the racks are empty. And I don't remember the last time I saw them firing, in fact. So I think a lot of ammo is actually being spent on these anti-missile decoys. Oh, and I think that was... What was that, actually? And I think they're also going into the missile launchers as well. Actually, are the missiles cheaper than the torpedoes? 4 blocks versus 1, 2, 3. Actually, they're the same price, but it seems like the torpedoes are barely getting reloaded. The missiles are out of date. Alright. That was something. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of damage indicating things going on. Ooh. Actually, this guy just lost one of his secondary turrets. Let's see. Yeah, out of ammo. Oh. This guy's being prioritised a little bit at the moment. I think because the other one lost a turret. Yep. Out of ammo. Running low on resources as well. Oh, I think it's like... It wants a hug, doesn't it? It's... What is that battleship even doing? Ow. Oh, my man. Yeah. I think because of the state of things, this is like... I think this is more or less a draw. Let's be honest. As things are now, one-on-one, the Handsome had enough ammo to kind of do something about a lot of this. 2-on-1, they're just battering each other into stopping. So yeah, it's like two brick walls bashing against each other more than anything else. Neither team is especially damaged. And it seems like both sides are also very short on ammunition. So they've just ground to a halt, I think. How long was left on that enemy simulator card? Where did I even put it? Did I put it forward a bit? I've lost track of where I put the enemy simulator. Oh well. But yeah, I'd say this is roughly a draw, though neither of these teams have the staying power to even try and do much. So yeah, I'm gonna call that one. Yeah, so these guys just can't sustain themselves in a prolonged fight. And they don't have the outright firepower to kill each other either. Okay, that's that. Oops, missiles. Okay, let's see. A wellness PM'd me a ship. Spawn yours for the Steel Striders faction. It's meant to be one of their ships. Oh, I get it. Okay. Right, I'll just need to tab out for a sec and grab those. Okay, so Analog has sent me the Mark III. And then I've got a message from a Wellner with the SS Novara frag. Okay, so SS Novara frag, got that one, and heavy battleship Mark III, got that one. Okay, so that's those two. Let's get them swarmed in. Heavy Mark III. The Mark IV is what we just saw in action, by the by. The Mark III is the one that has just been sent to me, and it is about 2/3 the cost. A lot less weaponry. That's the first thing that stands out. These rear propellers are not going to work very well. Not with the layout. Opened repair bay for when there's no enemies, I'm guessing? Yeah, looks like it's got a different weapon set on it, though. In fact, I think I've seen this one before. I think I have, haven't I? Okay. It's not repair bots, actually, Lauren. It's actually mostly repair tentacles. It's mostly for fixing other ships. And then next to it, let's get a wellness one. The Nova Frag, which is like 50k more expensive. I can see already it's got a supporting helicopter. Oh. You know what? In these colours, it reminds me of Cybern, actually. That's the first thing I'll say about it. Side-mounted missile systems, turreted anti-missiles. Nice. Yep. Let's see. Lots of missile detection. So more of a defensive style ship, it looks like. But this is. You've done a very good job with this one, Welner. But supporting helicopter. Where's the helicopter wandered off to? There it is. Supporting helicopter has got propulsion, some missile racks underneath it, and a ventral mounted cannon of some kind, which extends inside the thing itself, so that is actually a fairly powerful one. Interesting. Okay. Is that the railcopter? Was that? I don't think that's a railgun, is it? No, it's not a railgun. That's a standard cram. Yeah, the helicopter's gauge. I noticed that the cannon on the helicopter's got a larger gauge, but the ship's got a double barrel. Let's see. Analog says it's supposed to be a capital ship that works with other smaller warships. Yeah, that's the vibe I was getting from looking at the Heavy's armament scheme. It seems to be more like focused on its primary guns and fixing other ships nearby. So I can totally see it being like that. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I've got these two. What do I have to throw them against? That is the big question. Okay, so first vehicle. Let's get in the Navora Frag, which is a 242. I'll just wander over here. And the Cinder is apparently the name of the helicopter. This is 1.5. So a 242 craft. Let's see. Hiya Jack here, welcome back. Null Mean says let me at him. Right. Oh, the helicopter is an actual in-game Steel Striders helicopter. It got accepted to them a year ago. Oh, awesome. Oh, nicely done, Welner. An Alpha? 242. The Alpha is a 500k, though, Lauren. Unless 160, 340. That's 400k for the two. That'll be an 80k difference. Okay. Yeah. Right. So, in the interest of starting to wrap things up a little bit, I will bring in the Heavy next to a Wellness craft as well. So, a Wellness got some support from the Heavy, which is meant to support other crafts, from what Analog is saying. So let's do that. So a heavy Mark III. So we'll see how well it supports the a wellness craft. Do you have resources? You do not. So I'm going to actually teleport to the Battleship Mark III then and give it some extra resources, just so it's stocked up. And I'll also make sure to give some resources to a wellness ship as well, because I think it might need some. It's got a few in it, mostly from all the battle damage and things that's lying around the place, but yeah, okay. Let's see, so yeah, I'm just letting it recharge a little bit, and I'm going to spawn in the Alpha, since that's one we've not had appear yet. 0.2, I'll do the same as up until now, and I'll start it at 1.5k, so about here. Yep, this'll do. Alpha, 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 Alpha. Does the Alpha need resources? It does, okay. 26k of resources in that. Okay, let's get into the Novera frag. In fact, grab you guys.
Receiving.
Resource mode, group 1. In fact, the heavy battleship is not set to keep any resources either, so let's set you to keep a bunch of materials, and there we go. So these guys are all on the same network, so there we go. You're aware mine will lose and don't want to see it. So I have no repair bots. Actually, lightning hoods. Well, Lauren, if you like, I could pull it out, and I'd be happy to do so. So if you don't want me to throw your ship into this, just go ahead and say so, and I'll swap it out for little means again. So yeah, just let me know. Just while I'm doing this resource charging before we start. It's fine. Okay then. I will teleport to yours as well though, just to give it some resources before we begin. So let's get to the Alpha. And charge it up with a bunch of resources as well. Craft are about 1.5 kilometers distance still. Well, both sides have thrown about the same value in terms of craft into this. So they're somewhat equivalent. So a lot of this is going to come down to design. Let's see. And Little Mean just wants me to throw the handsome in to kill things. Sure. Yeah, the Alpha's got some pretty decent prop placement on it. There's a massive bank of props right at the back. Seems to be wanting to wander closer. Hey. But yeah, Jaxia, this is Lauren's Alpha, which is by itself, and it's going to be going up against a wellness thingamabob, a wellness Novara, which is this red one here, and has a supporting helicopter buzzing around above it, and Analog's heavy battleship. So that's what this fight is going to be. Though, because I'm sitting in one of the ships, it seems like they want to gather.
Receiving.
So yeah, I need to back it off a little bit. To about here, actually. Okay. So yeah, that's the 3 that are going on right now. Where do you want to put props? Yes. Yeah, that can be the way sometimes, trying to make a faster ship. There's Steam stuff now? Yeah, Viking, that's been in for quite a while. And it's very powerful in a very compact package, but it can be a tricky system to work with as well. It's not the most efficient, it's the densest, potentially, if you build it right. If you build it wrong, it's going to break itself. Let's put it that way, because mechanical power, if you overpressurize it, it's just going to go boom. Well, not boom, it's just going to break. And then you're going to lose all that pressure you put into it. Anyway, sorry, moving on. The alpha's back in. It's suitably primed. Let's go ahead and get things ready. I just need to find a space in this thing to install a enemy simulator. Oh, is that a gap in the armor? Yes, we've got a gap back here. Okay. I'm going to install it at the back. Okay. I am aboard the Cinder. I just need to hop out of it and fall into the ocean like I'm meant to. There we go. Yep, so there we go. I've just jumped out into the water, so I'm not affecting this. Let's go ahead and grab the enemy simulator on the Alpha and set it to active. So as soon as I find where I put it. Because that is... Because of course I lose where I put it. Aha! Here we go. Simulator. "5 minutes. Activate." And it suddenly turns white. Okay. Now, my repair tentacles are already disabled. Resource giving only has a limited range. So everyone's already got resource charge and stuff like that. The Little Bean's got a challenge. Time challenge versus the Handsome regardless of cost. If it survives long enough, they win. What? If the Handsome survives long enough, they win? That would make... I'm not really sure about that one. Anyway, it's time, so let's go ahead and start. Okay, lots of rapid fire coming from the Alpha there, along with the incoming missiles and things like that. That helicopter has anti-missiles of some kind, it looks like. Oh yeah, there's the laser AMS kicking in. We saw that in action against my railgun earlier. 5 FPS, yeah, the FPS is having some troubles, depending on what I'm looking at the time. Although at this range, the Alpha's shielding is serving it well, though. How are the other guys? The other guys, couple of minor knocks on the battleship. The Alpha seems to be going out after a wellness craft, though. The Novara seems to be its focus at the moment. It's doing moderate damage, but the repair capabilities are keeping up at the moment. Where's the helicopter? There's the helicopter. Trying to get close, but the Alpha's not gone for it yet. It's not taking any hits either. And it seems to have found its ideal place because it's trying to shell the Alpha. Okay. Oh, that was a lot of impacts. Though it seems like the Alpha's anti-munition system is actually stopping anything the helicopter tries to throw at it. Yeah, the Alpha's anti-munition laser is doing a lot to help it out. It's reducing the firepower it's taking almost to zero, it looks like. To be honest, most of the firepower and damage output seems to be coming from Lauren's Alpha more than anything else. Oh dear. Yeah, that helicopter is completely useless until the lasers can be weakened. For some reason, the battleship is charging in, but the Alpha is ignoring the battleship and just focusing on a wellness craft the entire time. I've forgotten the name of it again. The Navara. There we go. The Navara. The Alpha really hates the Navara. Seems to have taken great offense to it, because it's just been shooting that thing the entire time. But it's got very fast, sustained firepower. I think the individual shells aren't that strong, though. Has the Navarro actually taken much damage? Well, the rear section of the Navarro has actually been gutted, more or less. Yeah. Something exploded somewhere. Oh, I think that might have been one of Navarro's ammo caches that's just gone up. Oh dear. Just looking. Multiple hits around the place, but the Alpha is still pretty much unscratched at this point, actually. The big battleship seems to have lost its the cover and some of its forward repair banks, but I think that's just when it was in the way. Yeah, I think that was just when it was in the way between the Alpha and its chosen target. But the Alpha's basically ignoring the battleship right now. Oh dear. Hello, my dear good sir owner, as a missile battery tries to damage the rear propellers of the Alpha and fails. Yes, good day to you, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I would tip my hat to you, but unfortunately I don't have one. So, yeah. Okay. Right. Honestly, I am quite surprised by what's going on there. Because I've always known a Well to be a very competent builder. But I think this is just a bad matchup. Yeah. It's going for the enemy with more DACA. Are you sure? Because I think the heavy battleship has actually got more weapons components on it. Oh, no, it's actually switched target. No, it's splitting targets because of where it is. It's still mostly interested in a welder's ship. I think the Novara, it is Novara, isn't it? Yeah, okay, I remember the name this time. The Novara is crippled. Pretty badly, actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, I get the feeling the Novara's lost its ability to move. But the Alpha's just continuing to pick on it. Diplomacy in FTD? Yeah, diplomacy system is not very nuanced at all in this game. Though to be honest, it does the common things like, oh, you're too close to me, I don't like you anymore, kind of thing. So, you know, that's a pretty common one. Lauren, your ship is ignoring the heavy battleship over there. It's just ignored it and wandered past. Um, yeah, literally, the Alpha's just driven past the Heavy, and it doesn't even know the Heavy's there, basically, at this point. So I'm sorry, Analog, but that's basically what's happened. Oh, this is overall. I think the Alphas won this one pretty handily. Yeah, it literally refused to fight the BB. The Alpha is a support craft that is more expensive than these crafts combined. It is, but overall price difference was maybe 15 to 20%. So, and both sides have plenty of resources for repairs and stuff, but yeah. I've never said anything about your weaponry, actually, Lauren. I've never really seen it in action, but I've never actually tested your weaponry either. So I never gave an opinion on it. Except that it seemed a little on the light side. But you make up for that with sheer rate of fire. That said, it looks like you're actually running out of ammunition now. Yeah, most of your guns have more or less stopped firing. Okay. Handsome out of nowhere time. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm afraid I really need to stop there. Because I do need a bit of downtime to rest my voice, and I have work early tomorrow morning. So, fun times. So yeah. But that said, though, next time I stream, I won't mind doing some more fighting at all. And Jackson, you can indeed send me your battle cruiser if you would like. And I'll include that in the next stream as well. So yeah, are you guys enjoying the fighting? I know I don't do the best commentary on it, and my PC cries sometimes. But I'm finding it kind of interesting just watching the fights going off. Also, I think this is a good way to test the craft, isn't it? Just pitting it against some other things. End of the day, you don't know what's going to work until you start trying it. Oh, those shells are bouncing straight off it. Oh, those are... Really? Those are disruptor shells? No wonder that cannon's still firing. Okay, the more you know. Jeez. And say you'll be working on a new version. Well, I mean, one thing I would suggest is disable reverse, because that seems to be messing your craft up quite a bit. So yeah. But yeah, it's high time I was stopping to try and recover a little. So, this has been AM3 with From the Depths. This was meant to be a build stream. It's turned into a build, weapon testing, and fighting abomination, and I am fine with that. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll catch you all some other time. So yeah, see you all later. Now I just have to find the off switch. There it is. Okay.